No, you get one adjustment session out of my mic, and I'm not doing it anymore. You people don't pay me enough to be doing multiple mic checks.
The show has to hire a roadie for Justine.
Yeah, I'm gonna be bugging
Just her.
Can I get more on my monitor, please, Jamie? Can you turn it up? And my monitor up front here. This wedge right here sounds really low for me.
See him just walk up from the back.
We got Phil back now.
Hey, he's back.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah,
he's in rehab.
Yeah, and he's going to answer for his crimes. We're going to have an airing of a grievances type thing a little later.
We all collected our grievances.
A late Festivus, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm an overachiever. I got out, in 6 steps.
Yeah. And we're going to put you through the last 6 tonight. You can be sure of that.
I hope you're ready to make amends.
Whatever
the other steps are.
Well, I'm super excited to be back. I mean, as you guys I think alluded to at some point, I did have a baby. My wife had the baby, but we did it together.
Congratulations!
You did the fun part, then that's it.
This one was a little bit easier for me, and not to say as if I do anything at all, but like when you have labor, you are very much an enemy in the delivery room, whereas this time we had a C-section, so I wasn't as much an enemy this time. Easier. I'm a sensitive guy, I got yelled at. I try not to get emotional or anything, but that does happen.
That baby came out so cute and fresh and not pink at all. And it's just cute.
He's a good baby. It's different when they take him out versus when they have to be pushed through the canal and then they have the cone head like my
Yeah, I had the cone head.
Intense. It's natural though. That's what's supposed to happen.
It was so crazy when you showed that picture of Goldie standing next to the new one, and she just looks so old compared to the little one. Like, it's so nuts.
She's like 2, right?
Yeah, she's 2. She's 2, almost 2.5. I mean,
she's like a baby in my mind, And then no.
The contrast is amazing because you go from thinking you have a baby at home to showing back up with an actual baby, and you're like, my God, what do you get a job? Like, what's going on?
Fucking freeloader.
Where's my rent?
Diapers? Are you kidding me?
How is she adjusting to the big sister life?
Oh, she's doing good. We've had we've had a little emotional moments where it's hard. Once you have 2, you have to do like what do they call it? Field defense, where you're both kind of like on one. Mm-hmm. And so me and Goldie, we pretty much do everything because Lee and Kendall have to. Baby admin reveal. Is that what you call it? His name is Kendall, by the way. Which I want to circle back to. I wanted to talk about that with you guys.
Phil just baby doxed.
Baby doxed. Yeah. But she did at one point feel like, I think she said like, I want my mommy back because I'm taking care of her all the time and she's taking care of Kendall all the time. It's just how you have to do it, So, but overall, she's been amazing. We're doing great. We're doing great.
I love that your daughter spent like a couple of weeks with you, and she's like, "That's fine. Give me my mom. I'm cool off this."
Back now.
She spent a lot of time with me. It's just weird that she would spend almost all of the logistical parts of her life solely with me. I have to always change her clothes and diapers. I have to take her to daycare, because with the C-section, my wife can't pick her up or anything, and so that's a big part of it. And she doesn't get that. But hey, I can't complain. Everybody's honestly, we're doing great. We're in great shape over here. And I've been thinking about you guys a lot, and I was just missing you guys. And I kind of came with this idea because when I used to do I would say a podcast, a TV show, whatever, the Chill Neal show, I used to always like to start the show with these kind of icebreaker questions, and I thought, I've never really done that with you guys. Would y'all be okay if I just hit you all with some, they're not too invasive, they're easy questions, but just kind of rapid fire questions I want to see.
Yeah. Are you gonna direct them towards us? Because we're just gonna, us. We'll just all talk over each other.
Yeah. You're gonna have to.
Then I gotta edit it out.
Well, I can direct you. Let's start. Let's just do it. We'll do ladies first, and then Matt, you'll be the very last one. We'll go Ashley, Justine, Willow, and then
Shotty last.
Yeah. Okay, you got it then.
Just like an orgy.
So this one was actually very fresh on my mind. I want to know, do y'all keep your butter out on the counter or do you keep it in the fridge? And this might, if for Ashley, this might be a weird one, but still, the best answer.
I mean, it depends if I'm planning to use the butter or not. If I'm planning to use the butter, I'll like leave it out, like for toast in the morning. I'll let it sit for a bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have some toast.
I see. Okay, Justine.
So my nice butter, like my good butter that I do use for like toast and shit like that, that goes on the counter. Margarine and like cheaper butter stays in the fridge because that gets used for cooking, so I just throw it in.
Mm-hmm.
Willow, butter.
I have a complicated history with butter storage because it usually.
It all started back when I was living with my uncle Willow.
Yeah, welcome to my recipe blog. But no, under normal circumstances, all things being equal, it would be when it's super hot in the summertime. The butter goes in the fridge, and like when it cools off, it will be on the counter. Mm-hmm. But I am in a situation now where there are cats who want butter more than anything. Like it's their one pursuit in life is getting butter, and so it stays in the fridge. And it's like as soon as it's done getting used, it goes back in the fridge. Like it's
the butter safe.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
Matt, butter.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm kind of like OCD. I put everything in the fridge. I don't leave anything out. And like, so yeah, the butter always stays in the fridge. I won't even take it out to like soften the butter. I mean, I don't really bake, which I know you have to do it for that. But as a chubby man who loves to eat, I don't plan ahead at all. I need the butter now, so I'll melt it or throw it in the microwave or something like that if I need to. Otherwise, that shit stays in the fridge.
You're microwaving butter?
He's nuking butter.
I have to. I'll nuke it. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. You put it on like 20%, 30%.
Yeah, nothing. Just
like seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like melting it. Like,
you guys are using the power settings on your microwave? You don't just keep everything at 100 and
you don't just push the add 30 second button?
I just do like 7 seconds and it's like good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually fine.
That's a very delicate balancing act to do. I personally always keep mine out for sometimes months at a time, if we don't go through it. And like Willow was saying, it's like during the summertime. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, I see, but I'm kind of neurotic about it too because I'm worried that like something will happen to it. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but yeah, like it'll go bad, or like also Pittsburgh. Apparently, there's like mice is a thing here, and I've never experienced that before. And I'm like, so I don't leave food out just in case.
Butter mice.
Yeah,
so
the butter mice.
You have to get one of those little dishes with the cover on it.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Butter dish.
Yeah.
What otherwise would you have done? Just put it on the counter?
Yeah, if you leave it out without a cover, it gets that weird taste to it.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the butter dish for sure.
Yeah, maybe that's why it always made me feel weird. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta have a little fridge. You can buy a million of them. Go to your local Goodwill. You get a little glass dish. It has a lid that fits perfectly over the butter.
You gotta get the butter a hat. Okay.
The fridge has a section for butter. It has a designated butter lid.
It does.
Thing.
Yeah, the butter dome.
You're supposed to put it in the fridge.
So what goes in there for me is all of my fast food sauces and accoutrements.
That's what the door is for.
In there.
No, the door is all of my beverages.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to weird out any guests that come stay with us, they open the fridge. First thing they see at eye level is vials of insulin. They're like, "What the fuck?"
I want to come visit and just be like, you get up in the middle of the night, I'm just drinking them. These are fucking great, Phil. What are these things?
And then I have to give you a glucagon shot in your thigh. Just so I have a hypoglycemic episode. All right, so these are supposed to be rapid fire, so we got to keep it going here. So, Ashley, what time do you eat dinner?
It differs when I get hungry.
Okay. Justine, what time do you eat dinner?
I either eat as soon as I get off work at 5 or at like 3 in the morning.
Wow.
There's no in between.
Fascinating. Willow, what time do you eat dinner?
8-ish.
Nice.
8-ish.
Okay. Matt, what time do you eat dinner?
usually between 6:30 and 8 sometimes.
Okay. All right. I'll see.
I'm
That's what
an
I
early
wanted to
dinner
know.
guy usually. Yeah.
7's great. If you can get there at 7,
Yeah.
that's
Working
like,
from home, I can do that now though. It didn't used to be that. I used to eat at like 8 or 9, but now I don't do that.
I find people either are a dinner time person or just they figure it out, right? Like you just eat when you can eat. And
right.
I wanted to know because we had our in-laws stay with us when the baby was first born, and it's like their dinner time and our dinner time are so crazy, like 3 hours apart. And I was like, this is kind of awkward.
That's my dad.
Are they like they're like 5 o'clock people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you get old, it's like that's what my dad eats at like 4:35. That's like the latest he'll eat dinner.
The only reason I'll ever eat like at 5 right when I get off is like if I don't eat lunch while I'm working or something and like don't eat breakfast that day, and then I'm like starving. I'm really hungry by the time I get off, so I'll just immediately make something. Otherwise, I just kind of wait and like can't sleep, and we'll just be up and make a little fridge concoction.
Yeah, the bag of shredded cheese to the mouth.
Yeah.
That's always a good one. Okay, next question. Ashley, how many times a day do you brush your teeth?
2 or 3 times.
Okay. Justine?
Same, yep.
I'm going to say it's a hard 2.
A hard 2? What makes it hard?
When you wake up?
I will not do it a third time.
Okay.
Because
Matt? Teeth brushing.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I'll do it at most 2 times. I'm not. I mean, unless I'm like eating something really fucking weird or something, then I'll.
Yeah.
Then I.
Yeah. If something really vile goes in my mouth,
we've all been there, So
if the dick isn't Neapolitan, you have to brush afterwards.
If I didn't say a lot of curse words on the podcast, then you can go to bed with a clean mouth. I only brush my teeth once, and it's when I wake up. And I used to be a 2-person, but nights get weird for me, and sometimes I just wake up and I'm like, oh god.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah. I always do it when I wake up, but sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just totally forget at night, or I'll just pass out before I do it.
I mean,
the pass
real
out.
shit. I don't plan to brush at all at night. It's just not part of my shit.
If you can't fit it in, that's understandable. You've got a lot of shit going on.
I'm not making excuses. I'm fessing up to this. This is just you now. Like that, yeah.
I didn't used to do 2 a day. Like I used to also be like you, Phil, and only do it in the morning. But I drink so much coffee now that I feel like if I don't do the night one, I'm gonna fuck. Not that this is good, but it'll be worse.
Okay.
They'll just disintegrate overnight.
Yeah, exactly.
Just getting browner and browner every day. Okay, this is a weird one. You can opt out if you want to, but I was just thinking about it, and so I'm curious.
But
back to Ashley, have you had COVID, or do you think you've had COVID?
I think I had half COVID. I got my first vaccine, and then I went to an open mic, and a lady was a close talker, and she heckled me 2 inches from my face, and then I couldn't taste food for a couple days.
Okay.
That's probably right. Yeah.
Okay.
Half COVID.
Justine.
I have not. I've been extremely lucky. I got all the vaccines and the booster and shit, and like I've traveled to Florida since, and no symptoms at all. Been totally fine, and I do believe it's because of that thing that I talked about on that other episode about the weed. I believe it entirely.
Nice, love that. Willow,
I have not tested positive for it. I don't think I've had it either. I know that, one of the initial symptoms that I don't know if it actually is a symptom is like remember when we first, like when they were first trying to take care of it and they were like, do you have any, do you have these symptoms? Do you have those symptoms? Do you have any new confusion? I have new confusion all the time. And I'm not just being flip. I really that does concern me. Like, I feel like maybe at some point I did have COVID and I just didn't notice. But I don't think I've had it.
What about your old confusions? Have you worked through those?
Those aren't a symptom, so
I don't know. I don't know.
Matt, do you know? What do you think?
I don't think I did. I don't. It's hard for me to tell because like I was sick at some point during like the pandemic, but I just felt like I had a cold and I could taste stuff still. So I didn't get that. But then I didn't go out and get tested. I probably should have, but I didn't at the time because I was like, I'm not. It's like I just kind of feel crappy. Like I don't feel that bad. And I had been. This was in between the booster and the 2 shots. So I had gotten the 2 vaccine shots, and then hadn't gotten the booster yet. So I don't know. I think I was like fine. I think it may have just been a cold, but Other than that, no, I don't think I've got it unless I was asymptomatic.
But I don't think I've gotten it, but my wife did at one point, so I'm surprised I didn't. And then, I've actually tested twice since I've been on the last show with you guys because, like, my daughter goes to daycare and one of the kids there's family had it. So I've been, like, testing a bunch, and that's why it's been on my mind. That and everybody in the world has also gotten it last month, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I did not test positive, although, I've been sick enough that if you had just said that you have COVID, I would have been like, you're right, I do. But no test told me I did.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten so lucky because I've been working since what year did COVID happen? 2020?
2020.
So July of 2020.
It was the very end of 19, but really 2020.
Yeah, I've been back like working since July of 2020. And I don't know, like if you work somewhere where like shit's done right, it's good.
Okay, next question. Do you wear socks when you sleep, Ashley?
It depends on if it's summer or winter. If it's cold, I'll wear socks.
Okay. Justine?
No, what the fuck? No, absolutely not. What?
Willow, socks at night?
Until a couple years ago, I would have said always socks. But now, never. No.
Okay.
I refuse. I can't.
What changed? Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just like when I was like trying to be a man, it seemed weird to have bare feet.
The masculine urge.
As soon as I connected with my true like gender identity more,
that's an interesting symptom. I would have never thought that would have been a thing. That's really cool.
That rocks.
Yeah, I feel free. It's great.
Embrace the bare feet.
Is like foot dysphoria a thing?
Foot dysphoria?
Well, it's not because I didn't even think it was but then once I should have felt, I guess, I don't know.
That's what the sandals. That's the sandals thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Amazing.
The non-binary urge to wiggle your little toesies in the sand.
Matt, socks at night?
Oh no, I'm very warm. I'm a warm, very hot man, so I can't. No, I can't do that. No, I would die.
He's a very hot man, folks.
I'm very hot.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. I can't wear socks in bed. I
guess I'm weird.
Maybe, yeah.
Sometimes I really kind of consider it when it's cold, but then I just take them off after 5 minutes.
And I'm really weird about heat. Like I don't want to turn the heat on, so I just like wrap every part of my body up instead because it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to be cold when I get in bed and get warm. If I get in a warm bed, I will murder people. Like it's miserable.
No.
That's fucked up. Getting into a warm bed. I don't like that idea.
It's going to be trouble.
Yeah, who was here?
And then you have to go search for a little blonde girl who has been not only in your bed but also in your wife's bed and your child's bed. Then you've got to go take inventory on the porridge, and it's just you're in for a long day.
Exactly.
Having a little blonde daughter named Goldie.
I totally.
She just fucks up porridge though. You put porridge in front of that girl,
but she's so picky.
But once she gets it right though,
gotta put a Goldie lock on the Irish oats.
Okay, next question. Back to Ashley. Do you recycle?
Yes, when I can. It comes once a month, so it's kind of a pain in the dick, but I do it when I can. Yeah.
Well, you don't have. I mean, just in general, that for going forward, you don't have. Okay, Justine.
So I used to when I lived in the Midwest. The town I live in here does not have that option.
See, this is an important part of this question. I've run into that with other folks, depending on where they live. Willow, recycle?
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I also recycle, but I came to my mind because again, when my in-laws stayed with me, it's not an option where they live. They just can't recycle, and they're like weirded out by like 2 bins. And then they ask me weird questions like, "What do you think really happens with all the stuff that goes in the recycling bin?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm
this all just
here.
This all just ends up on an island somewhere.
It takes almost no effort at all to do. Really. You just put 2 bins, and then it's like fine,
Nah,
and the plastic plastic doesn't take up as much room in your regular garbage. Then I don't know. It's kind of nice.
I constantly, so my recycling only comes every 2 weeks here. So I'm constantly like shuffling bags of recycling shit to make sure that I can like fit it in and last for the 2 weeks. I'm like, how many days until they're going to pick the shit up?
Yeah.
Should I put this lemonade into the trash or should I hold on to it?
No, we have issues like that too. Cause our recycling went to every 2 weeks. And when it did that, like we're in a duplex, like an enhanced duplex with the landlord and another, couple of people. And we're all sharing one of those like, recycling things. And it's every 2 weeks. So we're kind of fucked about a weekend usually.
That would pile up really quickly. I will say.
Yeah, it does.
I will say the one thing that I still do, which I don't drink soda, so it doesn't really like come up as much, but I'm still very, very committed to the tin can recycling where you actually take it in and they give you money right then and there.
Okay.
That's
hobo style.
Yeah, that's a holdover from when I was using, and like I used to go around my apartment complex because we had little boxes that like everyone could throw their cans in, and then the landlord would take it down, and I didn't like that. Why are they getting everybody's recycling money? So I would go just steal the bags out.
My treasures.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would steal the bags out of the entire apartment complex and take them down.
Justine, certified garbage thief.
Raccoon era, Justine.
Yeah, I would literally like you would walk into my apartment and I would have like 8 of the full it was called the can shed, so I would have 8 of the full can shed bags like just sitting by my front door, like don't touch those, I'm gonna take them next week.
Solid gold right there, don't touch that.
Yeah, hey, that's $20.
$20.
It is, yeah. I used to live in like a band house where drinking was just so just constant that you just the bottles and cans you just if you cared.
One of the richest people I've ever known in my life religiously took in cans and bottles. Like
it's good for the earth. I mean, presumably, we'll see.
Well, hey, it's what we call passive income.
There you go.
Sigma mindset.
Hashtag recycle.
Yeah.
Reuse. Reduce. Sigma.
Steal your neighbor's cans. That's how you get out of the broke bitch mindset.
Well, keeping on theme for the Sigma male grind. So the next question, going back to Ashley, do you own cryptocurrency?
I do. Yes.
All right. Nice. Justine?
No, and I refuse. And Matt's tried, and I won't.
Okay, fair enough.
Willow?
I'm sorry that every time it comes to me, I have such a long answer. It's like a bit. But yes, I bought $10 worth of Ethereum with Succ money actually. with my share, I opened up Venmo. I just doxed our app of choice. I opened up Venmo and it was like, "Hey, dude, you want to buy crypto yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man. Fucking give me $10 of Ethereum."
Take $10 of Ethereum, please.
It immediately fucking it has been on a Oh yeah, it's great. I have lost $3.25.
Hell yeah.
Man, I think I know the answer, but let's formally get your answer.
I do, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I also do. But nothing, nothing
what do y'all got?
Substantial.
Y'all got any notable coin?
I have like $30 in Bitcoin. I think I have some in Avalanche, Ajax, or something. Somebody told me this is the one you got to get in right now. So
sure.
I did, but I just forget that it exists.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to wrap this segment up, This is the question that originally inspired me to want to do this with y'all, because I said I would come back to this. But the last time I was on the show, Ashley asked me what is going to be my son's name. And I was like, I'm not ready to tell you yet. But now that he's born, I've told you guys his name is Kendall. And for people that are fans of the hit HBO show, drama comedy Succession, that name is probably very familiar to you. And of course, with a new kid, the question is constantly, oh, where did you get that name? And, I don't really want to tell him like, well, we got it from Succession, basically. I mean, that's basically it. It's not like,
it's a nice name.
We're not inspired by the character. Like when I told the name to my family, my brother was like, yeah, so have you watched Succession yet? And I was like, I've watched some of it. He's like, oh, okay, that explains it. Like, what do you mean? He's like, well, Kendall's not really a good person. And I'm like, nobody on that show is a good person. Like,
and I knew that 10 minutes in.
But I also didn't feel too bad about that, because I remember as a kid growing up, my grandma told me that I was named after somebody in As the World Turns or something like that, like a soap opera.
My brother is named after someone from like General Hospital, I think. So
that's my name. That's what I was named after.
I've known a lot of people who are named after soap opera people. Yeah.
So I mean, that was going to be my question. In also segueing into that, we've had this conversation in the group chat about middle names. Apparently, we all have a lot of us have a common thread about middle names coming from someone, our mother or father above us. Is this everybody? Or I don't know if Ashley ever said about middle names, but my middle name is Carey. I get it from my dad, and I gave it to my son as well. He's Kendall Carey, and it carried through. And I felt like Matt and Justine and Willow all said that they had the same type of situation.
Yeah, Leela is my middle name, and it was like my grandmother on my father's side, my great grandmother. I don't know.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
this
Lynette.
Is weird.
Good name.
Lynette is a lot of people on Facebook apparently think Lynette is my last name, and it's not. I just don't trust you people. Lynette is my middle name, and I was adopted by my aunt, technically, but it is her middle name also.
Oh,
nice.
I see.
Yeah.
I like
wow,
that.
That was a very long segment. Thank you guys for writing it out with me. I thought it was pretty fun. I hope the listeners like it too.
Yeah.
But I guess we could dig into some of the terrible stuff that gives our show its namesake. What sucked this week, you guys? The first thing on the show notes, it's not actually one of my questions I shat out 10 minutes ago. It says West Elm Caleb. I don't know what this is at all. So
okay, so West Elm Caleb is an ongoing saga. I believe it originally came from TikTok. Basically, the idea is that there's a dating menace loose amongst the streets of New York. And his name is Caleb, and he works as a furniture designer for West Elm. He is 6'4" and he has a mustache. This is the information we have on West Elm Caleb. And basically, a bunch of women made TikToks that were like, I matched with this guy on Hinge, and like he was cool, and he sent me a Spotify playlist, and like was very suave. And then we went on a date, and like he ghosted me. And like it came out eventually, all these women found each other on TikTok through their videos, that like he had sent them the same Spotify playlist, and like used the same one-liners on them and stuff. And they also got ghosted. And so they started treating him like he was like this fucking monster. He's like, we must stop West Elm Caleb. And then it sort of moved over to Twitter, where kind of non-TikTok brained outside of New York women and men got their hands on it and were like, yeah, this is just a guy who didn't want to go on a second date with you. Like, this is, you just had a dating experience in New York that you didn't like.
That's what was so funny to me. It was just like, this is just dating in New York. That's just a guy in New York who sucks.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Well, that was one of my first questions. Like, what happened on the first date? Like, if they didn't have sex or if he didn't rob them, then I mean, if you got ghosted, like, okay, move on. Like,
yeah, by all accounts, like they had good dates and like they wanted to see him again, and then he just ghosted them, and it's like, yeah, welcome to rejection, lady. Like, I don't, because it is a bunch of like mostly white, like traditionally attractive women in New York who seem to come from fairly wealthy backgrounds. And it's like, maybe you're just not used to the concept of someone not being in love with you.
They're just like, this person has standards that I do not fit. This is unacceptable.
Yeah. And that's what it feels like. And they're treating it like they were like
a crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, excuse me while I protect and stick up for women here, but West Elm Caleb
female defender.
He looks like he sucks, kind of.
Oh,
and,
sure.
But like, look, here's the thing, though.
Do we have a picture of him?
Oh yeah, you can go on there.
Is it a composite sketch?
I mean, he looks like this guy could be like he's like 1/5 of all men in Brooklyn. Like, no joke. Like, maybe downtown Manhattan.
Oh yeah, no, I have.
Oh, I would date this guy.
He's a handsome guy. Like, he's 6'4" too. Come on, what's not to like here?
I get it. I get it.
He's got the Carhartt hat. He's doing the thing.
I get the mustache. I get the whole thing. Like, that's.
So how does that help their case then? I mean,
well, it helps their case because, like, I'm looking at them. Actually, I'm flip flopping here because I'm looking at the at the women that like are calling him out or whatever, and they just look like exactly. They're like exactly a snapshot of like what it's like to just use Bumble. Like, that's just it. That's all. That's everybody on Bumble. Like, that's all the women on Bumble. You just swipe right. You'll hit every single one of these. You can go on a date and you can ghost them all in the same week if you want. Like, Caleb, you're not special, buddy. I'm right there with you.
I will say,
you don't deserve this.
I think a lot of people are trying to make this a story about dating in New York, or in a broader sense, a story about dating through apps. And I think they're missing the bigger picture, where really this is a story about how insufferable New York women actually are. And I don't think we're putting that to the forefront. Like,
they are pretty awful. But also, Caleb also might be insufferable as well.
I'm sure he is. Yeah. Look at him.
Yeah.
No, of course.
Well, look at him. But what the thing is here is that you all deserve each other. See you in hell.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. Stop acting like you were hate crimed because you got ghosted by a guy who, like, if you looked up ghosting in a dictionary, photo would be right there. Like,
Urban Dictionary.
You should have known West Elm Caleb was going to ghost you. He has ghosting face.
I'm trying to imagine the confrontation here, like with all these women coming together to find Caleb, and they're like all together telling you didn't call us back, and that's it. That's just the whole confrontation.
But when I saw that, I was like, did he do something? Like, is he like a sex sex pest or something? No, he's not. He's just like, hey, we all dated this guy. That want to go on a second date with us, dude.
Yeah, it's that's impossible. Go listen to the Spotify playlist that he sent all of you.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Did they release the playlist?
They should release the playlist.
Just looking at him, I feel like it's like Tame Impala.
I was about to say Tame Impala.
He's got Brother Tiger shit vibes.
Oh yeah. He's got Mitski on there, and they're like, ooh.
He's got one Mitski song on there just because he knows his audience.
Yep,
exactly. There might even be like a cheeky Lana song.
God, dude, I'm getting like PTSD flashbacks looking at these women on here. I swear to God, it's just like straight up like you just on Bumble. That's all. Every one of these faces.
But it's like go listen to the podcast, or go listen to the playlist, and like stop making it everybody else's problem that you had a bad date. I've had a bad date. Like, it's fine. It's okay. You get used to it, babe. I promise.
Yeah, you don't see anybody complaining about West Elm Matt over here.
Matt designs furniture. We had no idea.
But I don't do that. Podcast Matt. He goes to us.
There's definitely somewhere gonna pop up a movement on Twitter about Podcast Matt one day.
Podcast Matt. I like that. So like off-putting.
Yeah.
It's like a children's horror story. Podcast Matt's out there somewhere.
He sent us all the same playlist filled with inscrutable house music.
An hour of techno. I don't.
There's some bangers on there, though. I'm just saying, Podcast Matt doesn't sound like a bad guy.
Did we all get the same one-liner about swords?
Did Matt send you all the same DM that this podcast would be a great idea? It was just the same.
I copied and pasted it. And I sent you a playlist too. I told you I was 6'4".
Oh, there we go. I never met you in person, so I could still believe it,
Not yet.
Well, I had this one ready to go, and I missed my chance. But I was going to say, speaking of making it other people's problems, Matt shared this to us from an Instagram account called Chronically Meh. Which,
oh my God.
First, I want to just go ahead and preload this by saying we don't want to make light of mental illness. We don't want to make fun of anybody suffering.
Well, I do, but Phil doesn't. I do.
Okay, fine. That's
some of us want to, but some of us don't want to.
That's what we're going to do. But this particular case that we're about to pick on is not that, in my opinion. And I'm going to go there and say that this graphic, we'll have to load it up in the group or something. It says things that cause trauma in parentheses that I didn't know about. And some of the choicest ones are hearing the word no.
We've all been there. We've all had intense trauma from that.
Yes, very intense trauma every day, several times a day. But another one, lack of good memories, in parentheses, even when there are no bad memories.
What does that even mean?
This one actually explains a lot about
They're just experiencing memory loss at that point.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They're in a fugue state, so they don't have any memories at all.
Another one says being ghosted, which, this West Elm Caleb has been causing trauma all across New York City, so it's very relevant. I don't know if I want to read all. Should I just read all of them?
There's not that many. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do them all. Because they're all so good, though.
They're all pretty ridiculous. The first one, being ignored by someone I care about, traumatizing.
All right. I mean, that's kind of weird, but all right.
Being criticized by someone I love. That's just like gaslighting to me.
That's just having a family. That's literally
if you
having a family.
So what I'm getting is if you criticize me or tell me no, or don't reply to my text really quickly or anything, you're doing actual harm to me.
Permanent damage.
Yeah. You are ruining a person.
Yeah.
You can never push back in your relationships ever because you're traumatizing the other person.
Well,
it's really fucked up.
Especially if they have no good memories, but not any bad ones though, but just no good ones right now.
Well, okay, so I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I have BPD, and I was like, there's no way that this is real. So I went to their Instagram, and they had recently, 2 days ago, posted, I've recently been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And I'm like, well, that fucking checks out, because, if you're having a meltdown every time someone says no, maybe there's something wrong. You should see somebody.
At that point, you either have BPD or you are actually 3 years old.
Yeah.
And
not a huge difference, if I'm being honest.
I just feel like this person doesn't understand that words cause trauma together. It just should be replaced by,
it's so insulting.
Anything else, things that made me feel bad that I didn't know about. It doesn't cause trauma to be misunderstood. To have someone mind read me? What?
Yeah, that's a favorite one. What?
How does that the amnesia work? Was they went to a psychic and it can fuck their shit up a little bit.
Yeah.
So what mind reading is, and they mention it in borderline training and stuff like that. Mind reading is when you assume that someone is behaving in a certain way with certain intentions.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
So
okay.
you're just you're assigning there.
Exactly.
So when someone does to you, what it is you're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You just traumatize yourself is what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, exactly. It's real stupid.
What else? Let's see. Going on, lack of appreciation.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely traumatic. That definitely fits the word trauma, if I have ever heard of it. Yeah.
Every job I ever had deeply traumatized me. So.
Yeah.
I'm on disability actually now for it. Having someone get angry at me / yell at me. I want to read the rest of them in that voice. I should have done that before. Feeling helpless.
Can you get a Jordan Peterson going?
We got Jordan Peterson on deck, guys. Let's not.
Feeling blamed or shamed. I'm just doing a very meek, voice. This lives inside of me.
Because you're having trauma.
I'm very traumatized.
You're traumatized right now.
And then finally, the last one is toxic positivity. That definitely will cause trauma. Big time.
That does traumatize me. I hate positive people.
Yeah, get the fuck away from me. Why are you so happy?
Yeah, you watch my stream several mornings a week, Ashley. This is
I know, Phil. Stop. I love your happy streams.
The like positivity movement has done more mental damage to me than any amount of like bullying ever could. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. Toxic positivity is terrible, especially depending on what environment it is. Like a work culture that thrives off that toxic positivity is absolutely terrible.
I would literally rather be around clinically depressed people than be around those people.
Yeah.
I'll have a panic attack.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if
awful.
I'll go that far. They're both bad. I mean, but still, I get it.
Are you saying you hate depressed people, Phil?
Whoa! I've got some news for you, Phil.
There's bad people on both sides, he says.
You're being ableist and you're causing me trauma by saying this.
That's all there is.
Being around depressed people actually causes trauma too. I don't know if you know that, but that's very.
So we're doing trauma to each other right now.
That's what this podcast basically is called Trauma from now on.
Yeah.
We do trauma to our listeners actively.
We're doing a little rebrand.
I don't know where to go with this one. Any takeaways from that, or did we? I mean, do we really juice that lemon?
Just learn, like, words mean stuff usually.
Yeah.
And like you can't just decide that it's like a thing. Like I fucking like the other day I went to Starbucks and I ordered a cold brew and they were like, is it okay if we do iced coffee instead of a cold brew? And that was traumatic to me. Like, shut up, stop it. No, shut up.
Like, you could have done this without using the word trauma, and it would have been like just kind of like a thing. It was like, all right, well, this is like stuff that like could hurt people without, without you maybe not knowing it or something like that. Okay, I mean, I would still think it's stupid, but that's the kind of person I am. But but using trauma feels like it's belittling to like actual literal trauma.
Yeah,
that should mean something like something was traumatic.
And like what bothered me so much was looking at the comments. A lot of people were just like, like it's all relative, and some people are more sensitive than others, and I'm just like, get fucked, man. Like,
but it's not relative. Like trauma in a medical and mental health sense has like an objective definition. Like you can't.
Yeah, I feel like the comments would also have stuff like "Happy Traumaversary" going on.
Traumaversary,
dude.
Yeah, trauma actually sucks. That's the thing that really bothers me. I've grown up to realize the effect that trauma had in my childhood, and this doesn't track. This bothers me, But you nailed it. It's just the two words: cause trauma. Just change it to something else. It's not accurate.
Something else, it would be totally fine.
Just things that bum me out a little bit sometimes. Yeah. Is when you yell at me and say no to me. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
This would be cute. This would actually be cute if someone just said things that bum me out. That would be like, all right, whatever. It's a cute little meme. All right.
Things that you should consider maybe apologizing for.
Exactly.
Things that I wouldn't do to a tiny frog on a lily pad. Yell at him or tell him no.
Perhaps wearing a mushroom as a dress. I don't know.
Yeah. he could be friends with the baker. I wouldn't tell him no. It's fine.
Well, speaking of things that cause trauma, apparently Jordan Peterson was on Joe Rogan for 4 hours wearing a tuxedo, and Matt listened to it apparently.
Matt
so I think that we're concerned about Matt's trauma in this specific scenario.
Yeah.
All right, so I decided to take one for the team because I was like, all right, this has been in the news. I see it all. It's getting memed on, all that shit. So I watched it. I didn't get through the whole thing because I value my sanity. It's 4 hours, but I got through about 2.5 hours of it. So roughly a little bit more than half. But they're just straight talking through the whole thing. Jordan Peterson is in fact wearing a tuxedo. It looks, because you can watch it on Spotify, or you can watch it, you can they have the video too. And it's just bizarre. It's just incredibly strange. I mean, Joe Rogan is just wearing a t-shirt. It's a really relaxed setting. I'm sure everybody's seen the Joe Rogan set. It's definitely not tuxedo attire. shit. It's comical. This guy is so.
I feel like his daughter Michaela was probably like, "You have to wear a tuxedo for this. This is a big deal."
Oh my God,
it's the Joe Rogan podcast. Eat a raw steak and go put your tuxedo on.
Yeah.
Going to Joe Rogan in 20 minutes, Dad.
Speaking of his daughter, though, so his daughter, you guys saw the book, the Eat Only Meat, and it's like the worst Photoshop job you could even imagine. Like literally, I could just go and do a better job.
Apparently, it is a parody.
Mm-hmm.
It is a parody, but it is a real book. It is like an actual tangible product. I think.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know if that was a real cover or not.
No, it's like
thank God. I thought I saw people looking it up and saying it was real. So.
It's like a not so deep fake. It's like a not so deep fake, but it's still a deep fake because that looks like what they would do.
That definitely feels right. You know,
it's very believable yet unbelievable at the same time.
I got to give so many props to Willow for the journalistic integrity of the
thank you so
always
much.
being maintained by Willow.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, we don't need like a corrections feature.
Unlike Joe Rogan's podcast, we do not spread misinformation.
No, absolutely not.
No. Even when it's about Joe Rogan's podcast.
Everything I've ever said has been incredibly well researched.
Everything we say is painfully correct.
Yeah.
I for one would never come across a snippet of out of context information and then spend 20 minutes presenting it as ironclad fact.
I for one would never read a headline only and then go talk about it for an hour.
We're like we're kind of like a postmodern version of Alex Jones, I think, in that respect, where we could just go off of one headline for an hour and just
the amount
never
of times,
really deliver.
The amount of times on Twitter that I've gotten that do you want to read the rest of the article before you quote tweet this headline? And I'm just like, no.
Absolutely not.
Everything I need, actually. Thank you.
Well, I'm a little bit bothered by this whole Jordan Peterson interview thing because I feel like Joe Rogan is just riding a wave, just taking over headlines right now, because also shortly after that, Neil Young decides to pull his catalog off Spotify in protest of Joe Rogan. And this is a whole totally separate issue. Basically, I guess he did an interview with somebody and, kind of spread some misinformation about vaccines. And a lot of people are very upset about it, and rightfully so. But, this is the reaction of Neil Young. And I've seen other people doing this now too, other podcasts. Yeah. So I'm wondering, should the Succ stay on Spotify, or should we protest this Joe Rogan?
We take our 0.0000001 cents.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should. I think we're in a position to punish Spotify.
Yeah, that's right.
Our removal of our content.
Punish Joe Rogan as well. Yeah,
and punish Joe Rogan because he wants to be on the same platforms as us, as the Succ.
He's been chasing us since we started.
There's one part of the Joe Rogan / Jordan Peterson interview that really got to me, and it was him. He's a weepy guy. You guys all know this, right?
Yeah,
he weeps. Yeah. He's a crier. It's
the benzo addiction. It happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's clean now. He told everyone he's clean now.
Mm-hmm. I've never lied about being clean in my life. It's illegal to do that. You can't.
So he's describing first he mansplains music for a solid 5 minutes, probably longer than that. Mm-hmm. And I mean that I don't want to abuse the word mansplain, but he literally does. It's just he does the thing where he describes music, and he's and you see it's layers of different rhythms and harmonies, and he's building it up. He does this thing where he's he speaks about shit as mundane garbage, in this mystical way, he's saying something profound, but he's not saying anything. And then he does baby's first sociological comparison, and he's you see, music is a lot like society, and society needs to have harmony and rhythm together. And I'm saying that who the fuck, quite literally, it's been said a million times, but Jordan Peterson is literally what a dumb person thinks a smart person sounds like. If you have any critical thinking skills, this guy, you're just going to be, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm just sitting there like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, is he going to push back on that? Like, that analogy doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And then Joe Rogan will like a little bit push back. He does push back. I'll give him that. But the thing is, once Jordan Peterson like poorly gives an excuse for like why his analogy works when it doesn't, or what comparison he's drawing that just doesn't work, Joe just goes like, okay, yeah, okay.
And
that's it. Like, that's the whole thing.
A lot of the time, it's from what you've told me, it's just that he doesn't like, he's not prepared enough really to be able to push back on it. Like, he doesn't have the language or like
he never pushes back
on
on like Alex Jones either.
Mm-hmm.
No, the thing is like he just doesn't push back enough. He doesn't like put because I think his whole thing is that he's trying to like give the other person the fairest shot. I'm not saying it's a good idea, because I think some of the specifically, Alex Jones and Jordan Peterson have some pretty awful toxic ideas that are couched in a lot of like seemingly well-meaning things, like posits or whatever. And the but sorry, so he's talking about music. He's talking about there you go. He's talking about this music, and he's like, he starts getting choked up, right? And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And he starts talking about how he's like, I saw this band, and they were like a blues rock band, and I was like, yo, here it is, a blues rock. Yes, this 50-something-year-old motherfucker is gonna tell us about how he saw the best band, and it was a blues rock country band. Great, awesome. And so he's like. So he says like, yeah, everyone was just like in a trance, and we're having like a spiritual experience. It's like a psychedelic experience, but no one's on drugs. And I'm like, dude, no. First off, somebody's on drugs, but maybe not you. I don't know. But,
probably the band.
Yeah. And he's like, the guitarist is just like the best guitarist that I've ever heard. And he's just like, has to be one of the top guitarists. And he's just going nuts. And like everybody's just writhing, and we're having like a spiritual experience. And this is like a shamanism. This is basically shamanism, if you think about it. And we have a long history of 25,000 years of shamanism up to this point. Point here.
I've had this conversation like at my high school weed dealer's
Straight
house.
up.
I swear to God.
Straight up. Yep. Everyone has had this guy. That's what's so insane to me. It's like when you listen to him talk, you're like, this is just a fucking moron. This is just a guy who like.
Jordan Peterson not have any friends that like jam bands? Because if he did, he would know exactly what he sounds like.
The funny part is that Willow found a video of Jordan Peterson at this concert, and I blew my fucking mind because I was like laughing at this part. I listened to the part twice because I was literally thought it was so funny, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you mean there's a video of it?" And I was like, "No, there's no video." It's like, no, there's video of it. Here it is. And I'm watching it. I'm dying laughing. Like I was dying because it's exactly what you think it is. It's a guy. It's an asshole fucking noodling on his guitar, over like the same fucking blues beat. And you're just like, fuck my life, dude. You watch him dancing around with his fucking moron wife. Incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. This guy's weeping about this.
I need to see this.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It just looked like any rockabilly show I've ever seen.
Just fun. And it was fun. Like I don't even hate that music. It's just like I'm not gonna explain to you how it's basically I'm a shaman because I went to a blues rock concert and the guy's guitar solo was pretty good. I don't know what this hell, it's like well, who's getting off to this shit? Who's listening to this shit, man? Go read a fucking book.
Well,
clean your room.
I experienced trauma for you guys.
Wait, what?
You did, and we love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. We really appreciate it.
Speaking of things that caused me trauma, it's not like the next thing on the list, but it is really important to me that we address it.
Okay.
We've got to talk about them de-bimbofying the green M&M.
Yes,
absolutely.
I was trying to make a transition as well by saying,
okay.
Speaking of getting off.
Okay.
But yeah, that's good. I had to get mine in there too. I've missed the show for 3 weeks. I got to get the transition.
Sorry.
Yes, let's do talk about that, please.
Yeah. They took our beloved slutty queen, who was, sumptuous. She had a very shapely pudendum, from what I remember. And she wore these beautiful high-heeled boots, and she was alluring and sexy. And now they put her in
hard nipples,
sneakers,
poking out of her candy shell.
Yeah,
this was
shell on display.
People have role models, and when you take those role models away from us, them.
Yeah. She was the blueprint. I mean,
absolutely, and we are so thankful for her. And to change her is just it's uncomfortable.
I'm just kind of upset. I think they could have made her way hotter because, when I was like 14 at my most depraved, I was jerk off to anything. I never once jerked off to the green M&M. And I feel like they dropped the ball there, kind of, and they could have made her a way bigger of a whore. And
there's a Photoshop going around of her totally naked.
Oh, yeah.
That I jerked off to.
Oh, God.
Just making sure.
I was so fucking mad that I saw that more than once.
Who is it? I'm trying to remember who it is. Somebody on their Fred Bedpost made it their profile picture.
Yeah. He just wants to get banned. That's all he loves it.
For 30 days so hard.
I would get sucked so fast, like with the quickness, if I even attempted. Amazing.
I actually do have to recant what I said at the beginning of this little segment because I'm remembering that I'm now contradicting a post I made recently where I pointed out that actually I love her new sneakers because now she just looks like the type of lesbian who goes, "Hey, mamas," and I think it's hot and I'm into it and I love it. And I want to rush into a relationship with her way too fast. We're gonna move in together in like 6 days. It's gonna be beautiful. And then we're gonna break up, but we're still gonna fuck for like 6 months afterwards.
Oh my
God. Does Hey Mamas work? Can I use that? Is that like a trick?
No, you can't use that. That's only for lesbians. Actually,
I'm kind of a lesbian though. Okay.
You can look up the term "Hey Mama's lesbian." It's a real thing.
Okay. Hey,
is it the platform sneaker? Are they like platform sneakers?
What's weird is they just changed her shoes. That's all they did.
That's really all
if you look,
they did.
Arms and legs are not openly exposed anymore. She has like sleeves,
tights,
like pants or tights.
Yeah, she's got like leggings on.
And like her eyelashes are like shorter and less curled, and like I think her eyes used to do that kind of sexy like sweeped up thing, and now they're kind of a little more just like regular.
Okay,
it's fucking bizarre. It's really bizarre that they made this move.
Because you have to think about a group of like executives and designers like going, she's just too fuckable. We can't allow like.
Yeah.
How many marriages has this Eminem ruined in this room? Show of hands.
Well, okay. At this point, I feel like a lot of companies kind of do this kind of thing on purpose, like where it's called woke marketing, where they know that it's going to enrage the right. Yeah. And then that's just free marketing, and the memes are just being pumped out.
Yeah. Also giving it to them right now, but
really
playing off the culture war thing. Yeah.
Good point.
Do you guys think Tucker Carlson knows that everyone's making fun of him for wanting to fuck Candy?
Okay, they talk about that on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay,
they talked about that exact thing. Sorry, not the. Okay, so this was interesting. So Joe Rogan is like he talks to all these people. He like knows a lot of people, and he said Tucker Carlson simply never reads anything about him. He never reads anything about himself. He simply just doesn't interact. He doesn't go on social media. He doesn't do anything like that. He just anything he puts out there, like he just puts it out there and then just goes into his little world. Isn't that crazy?
I want to print out the memes and chase them.
I know,
chase them with them and be like, look at what we're saying about you on the internet.
Oh man, that's wild.
I would never in a million years have the strength to do that.
I need to know what people are saying about me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I couldn't do it. Yeah. Maybe I could get to a point where I was just like, I don't care. I could take breaks, but eventually I'd have to like read some of it, Yeah. And I'd actively seek out the worst of it too. I just have to.
Oh yeah.
If I got to a point where people were saying things about me, that's the end.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it. I would have too much trauma from all that. Way too much.
I do think something that got swept a little bit under the rug with the M&M thing is not because the sexy M&M or the desexification of the green M&M did kind of overshadow the fact that they made it canon that the yellow M&M has anxiety, and I think that's really funny.
But what about the orange M&M? He's got the anxiety.
Oh, the orange one, the one that looks like a peanut M&M.
No, that's the yellow one.
Yeah, that's yellow. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
or blue,
he has anxiety.
Well, he clearly has anxiety. That's his thing, right?
No. The orange M&M is the one that's always panicked because he's going to get eaten.
Yeah, I guess it finally happened.
I thought yellow was the big dumb one.
Yeah, yellow's the dumb one.
I'll tell you, I eat that fucking.
I'm just Googling M&M anxiety.
So these drivers don't even know their own.
Oh, you were
lore.
right. It is orange. The orange M&M is now in an. Oh my god, I hate this headline.
Is he getting on Xanax now? Good for him.
He's survived trauma.
I need you to hear both this headline and like the subtitle. Orange M&M is now a Gen Z icon because of its extreme anxiety. Subtitle: Step aside, Timothy Chalamet.
You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up.
I just hate it here. What the fuck?
I'm gonna hurl myself out the window.
I'm so tired.
You carve my
Just
face
something
off with a spoon.
I need
I'm
to
gonna make
watch.
a meme with the Xanax inside of a M&M for the orange one. If y'all help me remember that.
God.
Mars has redesigned its beloved M&M characters for a, quote, more dynamic, progressive world, reports CBS News. The 2022 updates include a significantly less sexy green M&M. Her iconic heeled go-go boots have been replaced with simple, stylish sneakers. And the orange M&M is now embracing his anxiety. Yes, the green lady M&M got new shoes, while the orange M&M is grappling with his mental health. And he will now.
Upset people got paid to do this, to make this.
I would
whole
do it.
thing.
He will now.
Of course.
Embrace
Easy.
his true self, worries and all. So I think
It's practicing radical acceptance.
A lot of you owe the orange M&M an apology for laughing at him in all those commercials, like because he's literally neurodivergent and a minor.
There it is. Wow. Well, I gotta say, I'm really glad to be back with you guys on another episode of the Succ. I don't know how we top anxiety-ridden orange M&Ms, so we probably want to call it there because if I remember correctly, we do have plans for a bonus episode coming up next. Is that true?
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be doing another edition of the Succulents Ask. So we'll be answering your questions. So make sure if you're not a premium subscriber to the Succ, now is your opportunity to get in before we, publicly react and traumatize you to the questions that you left on Matt's comment thread. I think I have some as well. And we'll see what we got. So.
All right, later, guys.
All right, peace out, everyone.